structural problems. Dubai stayed open to the world. While London, New York, Paris, and Singapore were locked down, Dubai was functioning. It positioned itself as the refuge for the global ultra-wealthy, the one place you could escape to with your private jet, live in a luxury villa, and continue your life while the rest of the world froze. The gamble worked, short-term. High net worth individuals flooded in, property prices spiked, transaction volumes hit record highs in 2021 and 2022. But here's the critical thing that the headlines missed. The people arriving were not building lives in Dubai, they were parking. They were using Dubai as a safe house while their home countries went through chaos. They came with their money, but they did not come with loyalty. And the moment their home countries reopened, the exit began. Let's go beneath the surface. Because the real story of Dubai's structural fragility is hidden in the mechanics of how each major district actually functions, or fails to function, economically. Start with the iconic Palm Jumeirah. Palm Jumeirah was designed for approximately 60,000 permanent residents. Current estimates put actual occupancy at somewhere between 30 and 40% of capacity. The fronds, the individual residential fingers of the palm, are filled with multi-million-dollar villas that sit dark most of the year because their owners are investors, not residents. They come for 2 weeks in winter, then they leave. This is not a community, this is a storage facility for wealth, and when wealth finds better storage elsewhere, it leaves. No emotional attachment, no hesitation. The artificial islands are also literally sinking. This is not a metaphor. Palm Jumeirah has experienced measurable subsidence. The islands are physically settling into the seabed. Some villas have reported structural issues. The long-term engineering challenges of maintaining reclaimed land in a saltwater environment are enormously expensive, and those costs are not reflected in any publicly available financial analysis of the development's viability. Now look at Business Bay. Business Bay was supposed to be Dubai's answer to Manhattan's financial district. At its peak, it housed over 80,000 residents and tens of thousands of office workers across its 240-plus towers. But walk through Business Bay today and you will notice something disturbing. Significant portions of its retail podiums, the ground floor commercial spaces built into the base of almost every tower, are empty. Not 10 or 15%. In some buildings, the retail vacancy rate exceeds 40%. Why? Because the retail model embedded in Dubai's mixed-use developments was built on the assumption of constant population density and pedestrian traffic. But Dubai is not a walking city. It never was. It is a car city. People drive from their tower to the mall to their office. They do not walk past your boutique restaurant on the ground floor of a residential building. When the global narrative about Dubai shifts, and it is shifting, the psychological foundation of the city's economic model shifts with it. And the narrative is shifting because of three simultaneous tectonic movements. First, the global financial crackdown on money laundering. Dubai has been identified repeatedly by international financial intelligence bodies as a significant hub for illicit capital flows. In 2022, the Financial Action Task Force placed the UAE on its grey list, a formal designation indicating serious deficiencies in anti-money laundering controls. This was catastrophic for Dubai's reputation among legitimate institutional investors. Although the UAE was removed from the grey list in 2024 after implementing a wave of compliance reforms, the damage to certain investment flows was real, and more importantly, the compliance reforms themselves are now making Dubai significantly less attractive as a financial secrecy destination, which means the capital that came specifically for opacity is quietly seeking new jurisdictions. Second, the geopolitical realignment of the Middle East. Dubai positioned itself as a neutral financial hub, the Switzerland of the Gulf, capable of doing business with Israel, Iran, Russia, China, and the West simultaneously. That neutrality was its superpower, but the world is fracturing into competing geopolitical blocs at an accelerating rate. The Abraham Accords brought normalization with Israel, but also brought new enemies and new tensions. The sanctions architecture around Russia redirected enormous Russian capital flows into Dubai.
Imagine places like White Dubai or Armani Privé spaces, once designed to redefine 21st century luxury. Now, they seem to be nothing more than eerily silent blocks of concrete. Kind of ironic, isn't it? A place where you once had to pay the equivalent of a hardworking person's entire annual salary just to get a seat is now as empty as worthless shells scattered along the shore, ignored by everyone. Dubai's hotel occupancy rate has taken a dramatic freefall, dropping from a golden peak of 88% to below just 16% in only 2 weeks. For a city that operates on fast-moving cash flow like someone driving a Mustang on the highway, 16% doesn't even feel like a downturn anymore. It looks like total paralysis. Remember, the night economy once contributed up to 15% of the country's non-oil GDP. That's not a small number. Now, as force majeure clauses are being triggered en masse, multi-million-dollar performance contracts of top DJs have suddenly become mounting legal burdens. And when these luxurious five-star hotels run into trouble, thousands of small businesses dependent on the supply chain from high-end food suppliers to transportation services are standing on the brink of bankruptcy. And what about the tourists, those who once believed this was a Disneyland for adults? We all understand that no one wants to go to a place that is both expensive and unsafe. With conflict unfolding here, only a fool would keep rushing in. So the withdrawal of emotional capital seems inevitable. You can buy a diamond-studded Rolex at Dubai Mall, but you probably can't buy real peace of mind when the storm hits. An economy built entirely on artificial oxygen from temporary indulgence is now showing its fragility. Can an empire built on nightclub bills and laser lights survive when harsh reality comes knocking? The answer may already be visible on dance floors with no footprints left. The silence in nightclubs seems to be just the opening chapter. Behind the pre-programmed algorithms and the manufactured smiles of influencer armies, a darker truth appears to be waiting to be uncovered. But perhaps we should save that for the next part of this story about this illusionary oasis. In Dubai, it seems people have created extremely sophisticated, legal oases. You just need to step through the revolving doors of a five-star hotel. And suddenly, the strict regulations of the